Hey everybody, welcome to Calvary Family Time, a short midweek video that reminds us that we're not alone and that we're connected to something larger than ourselves. We're glad that you're a part of our family. So this Sunday is Father's Day. Now, on Mother's Day, back in May, we prayed during our worship service video for Open Door Pregnancy Center in Toms River, a ministry that we support. And between Mother's Day and Father's Day, we've been collecting donations, contributions to their annual baby bottle boomerang. So if you haven't contributed and you'd like to, send that money in so that we can consolidate it and then send it off to Open Door. This Sunday, on Father's Day, we're going to pray during our worship service and the pastoral prayer for another ministry that cares for families and children. It's called Danita's Orphanage in Haiti. Now, Haiti is a place with great amounts of need and a place that has been ministered to by an organization in our local area called Step of Faith. And we've been collecting over the last couple of months shoes and socks for an annual drive they do to provide for the kids in this orphanage. Here's a little short video from Pam Hess at Step of Faith to say thanks and to tell you a little bit more about it.
Hi everybody, my name is Pam Hess and I'm the missions coordinator for Step of Faith Ministries here in Brick. I just wanted to thank everyone at Calvary Presbyterian Church for once again participating in our new shoe collection for Danita's Orphanage down in Wanamith, Haiti. This is our 10th year that we've been involved with the shoe collection, and you guys have been involved for many years. And it's just such a blessing to see the participation continue. These shoes normally go down to Haiti in February or March, but because of the coronavirus, everything in Haiti has been shut down. They've done a great job of keeping the virus minimal in Haiti, and so we haven't been able to ship the shoes down. However, the airline that we do use, Missions International Flights, they have resumed flying into Port-au-Prince and Cap-Haïtien. So with your shoes and others that have been collected, we will be shipping them down to Florida in the next couple weeks. And then from Florida, they will be shipped into Haiti. So I anticipate the kids getting their shoes probably, I would say by like August, which is still great because they've been out of school. They haven't been doing what they normally do, just like everybody up here. So they haven't been wearing their good shoes right now. So these shoes will be an absolute blessing once they get down. And we just really appreciate your prayers for Step of Faith, especially for Haiti during this time. The borders are still closed down in Haiti, so there's no markets being open between the Dominican and Haiti. That's really been hard for the people. They're not able to work. They're not able to get any money for food. So Step of Faith has been getting donations in over the last 3 months, and we've sent down over $5,000 so far. We have another $4,000 going down between now and September to help purchase additional food and fuel for the people in Lakaju because the prices have gone up so high, and they are so thankful. They're so appreciative. So those two areas of Haiti we continue to be very involved in, and again, we really thank you for your involvement, all that you do, your prayers especially. If you can continue to pray that the virus would just stop altogether down in Haiti so that they can open up their borders again and resume their normal life, that would be wonderful. And that especially our friends at Danita's Orphanage and those in Lakaju that we work with, that nobody there would get the virus. So far nobody has, so if you can continue to pray with us for that, we'd really appreciate it. So thanks again for your prayers. Thanks again for your shoes. And we'll be talking with you again sometime soon. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.
All right, kids, are you ready? Time for the children's message. Mr. Skoudis is going to be teaching us today, and it's going to be great. And adults, you might not want to leave during this because you'll probably learn something too.
Hey kids, Mr. Skoudis here, and I'd like to share with you something very special. Now you'll notice that I'm sitting here in the dark, and I'm doing that for a reason, because I'd like to share some information with you about electronics. Electronics are really important in our world today. In fact, there's electronics in a lot of the things you use every day. There's electronics inside your television. Your computer is made mostly of electronics. There's also electronics in some of your toys. And I'd like to tell you about a few very special kinds of electronic devices. I'd like to talk with you about batteries, bulbs, diodes, and a really special kind of diode known as a light-emitting diode. Some people call them LEDs. But we'll start by talking about a battery. Now, I happen to have a battery right here. You're probably familiar with the battery. And you'll notice that it's got a plus sign on one side of it. And that plus sign tells us some very important things about what's happening inside this battery. Inside the battery, there are chemicals. And these chemicals interact with each other so that they push electrons to one side of the battery. Now, electrons are these really tiny little particles. They're super, super small. They're so small you can't even see them. So the chemicals push those electrons to one side of the battery. And what we can do is we can take a wire and connect in different kinds of electrical devices so that the electrons will flow through those devices, and then we connect the other side to where there's a plus. We connect a wire to there, so then we have electrons that flow through our electronic devices. This is a very, very powerful idea, because then I can put two of these together. Now here, I've got two batteries, so that'll be twice the power. And then I'm going to take another kind of electronic device here. This is known as a bulb. And if you look at this bulb, you can see there's a little tiny light bulb inside of there. And I'm going to make an electronic circuit that looks like this. You'll see we've got our battery, and the battery's going to push electrons, and they're going to go through the bulb and then come back around to the positive side of the battery. So let's see what happens when I do this. So I got my battery pack, I got my bulb, I connect the two together, and look at that. They light up. It's a light bulb. Yep, and if I disconnect it, it doesn't light up anymore. I can connect it back in again, and what's happening is electrons are flowing from the negative side of the battery through this bulb, and then they flow back through to the positive side of the battery. Inside the bulb, there's a really tiny wire called a filament. And the electrons, when they're flowing through the filament, the electrons hit the atoms inside the filament and cause it to send out light. Pretty neat. And this got me thinking about one of my favorite Bible verses of all time. Here it is. It's John 8:12 from the ESV. Again, Jesus spoke to them, saying, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. In other words, Jesus is the light of the world. Very good. But that got me thinking about another kind of electronic device. I'm talking about a diode. A diode is very special because electrons can only flow through the diode in one direction. And there's a very special kind of diode known as a light-emitting diode. So with a diode, the electrons can only go through one way. If you flip the diode around, the electrons won't flow through. They can only go through in one direction. There's one way through them. Now, LEDs, light-emitting diodes, are a special kind of diode that if the electrons flow through in the right way, it will light up. And I'd like to show you a light-emitting diode. You can see it right there. It's a little green one, right? And you'll notice that it's got those little arrows that shows how the current should flow through there. And you'll also see the tiny little arrows near the bottom. Those indicate that if the current flows through in the right way, it'll light up. So let me show you the circuit diagram for that one. You'll see we've got our battery, and we've got our LED, and you can see those little arrows by the LED indicating that light will come out of it if the electrons flow through in the right way. So I'm going to take our battery pack here again, and then I'm going to take my light-emitting diode, and I got to connect them in here. So I'll connect that on this side, and then on this side. Get ready, here we go. And there it is. It lit up for you, you see? And it's all lit up green. And then if I disconnect it, it's no longer lit up. So, a light-emitting diode. It seems kind of like a bulb, right? But there's an important difference. Watch what happens if I flip it around. If I flip it around and connect it, it doesn't light up. It only lights up one way. There's only one way for the electrons to flow through the light-emitting diode to make it light up. And this got me thinking about another one of my favorite scriptures. Jesus said to him, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. That's John 4:16. So like a light-emitting diode, there's only one way for us to go through to get to the Father, and that is Jesus. Jesus is the one way to our Heavenly Father. So thinking about that, whenever I think of LEDs, light-emitting diodes, it reminds me of Jesus, because he is the light of the world, and he is the one way to the Father. And gosh, that makes me just so happy to think about. That's what I wanted to share with you children today. Thank you. I hope you have a fantastic day.
All right, that's pretty much it for our video this week. But before we go, let me just let you know what this week's scripture text is going to be. The passage of the Bible that we're going to be looking at during our worship service this coming Sunday. So kids, you might want to read it in advance. And adults, you might want to read it along with them or read it yourself so that you're ready for our worship service on Sunday. This is the first verse from that passage. The Apostle Paul is saying, "This is how one should regard us," talking about himself and the leaders of the church. "We should be regarded, we should be thought of," he says, "as servants of Christ and stewards of the mysteries of God." Is that how you're known? Is that how you want to be known? As a servant of Jesus and as someone who guards and protects a magnificent gift that's been given to us. That's what we're going to be talking about this week. Have a wonderful rest of your week. We'll see you on Sunday.